Good morning, madam. I'm Sven, and I've come to fix your sink. Sorry, that was the opening line of my last video. Good evening.
This is your last video.
Good evening and welcome to this exclusive edition of Have I Got News For You. But first, a word of warning. We have been notified that there are pirate copies of this video circulating, which may look like this. In the news this year, there's evidence that W.H. Smith have been ordering too many copies of William Hague, My Vision for Britain. In Peking, the tallest man in China is executed by firing squad. And on the set of Gardener's World, there are fears that the man stalking Alan Titchmarsh may have breached security. Our guests tonight are two comic actors who are so popular that the makers of Action Man recently produced a couple of action men behaving badly. Neil and Martin were a bit worried at the time because they didn't have any genitals, and to see this duplicated in the dolls only depressed them further. Please welcome Neil Morrissey and Martin Clunes. And disgracefully, all too often these days, video spin-offs from TV series simply turn out to be no different from an ordinary run-of-the-mill episode. Still, what can you do? So, 4 clips of news footage to identify. Ian and Martin.
That's our new Prime Minister.
New Labour, new jokes. Oh no, another scandal. Poor old Robin Cook.
That's the expensive thing.
That's a waste of money.
Yes.
That's what that is.
Robin Cook, you spotted there.
Robin Cook, yes. He's the Foreign Affairs Minister, rather amusingly. No, it's all go. It's all different now. No more wasting money, apart from on the dome. And no more getting off with your secretary, apart from Robin Cook.
Yes, and who was it that Robin Cook's wife blamed for the affair? Do you remember?
The Tories. It's true. She's a doctor, and she said she'd had to work such long hours that she never got to see her husband, who was working long hours elsewhere.
The health cuts was what she actually
The health
blamed it
cuts,
on.
yeah.
Yes.
The health cuts.
Whenever you see money being ill spent, one's instant reaction is go, fuck someone.
It's as true today as it's ever been.
Look at that waste of money. Bend over.
And how was he found out? Do you remember how Robin Cook
Well,
was discovered?
they said he was discovered by 2 paparazzi who were outside by chance his house snapping him. But actually, I think he was probably leaked on.
Oh, really?
Oh, I know.
That's too much.
The wrong end of the stick. Yes, this is...
You seem to know more about it than any of us.
I've got it written down.
Mr. Neaty Suit.
Thank you very much.
Splashed out on that then.
Yeah, he always gets nervous before a show.
Yes, it is the aftermath of the general election, which was won by the Labour Party. Thank God for researchers. The first 100 days of the new government passed relatively smoothly, although there was a worrying moment when Tony Blair was briefly put in charge whilst Peter Mandelson was on holiday. Tony Blair impressed everyone when he was interviewed on France's top news programme and spoke in French. Using his extensive knowledge of the language, he told the interviewer that Monsieur Dupont was in the garden, the pen of his aunt was in his pocket. And on the Bridge of Avignon, they danced there. Paul and Neil.
William Hague,
With a silly toupee.
yeah, it's very stupid that.
That's Maggie.
Hypnotising a giant caterpillar.
Yeah.
I don't look stupid in this hat, do I? No. I don't look stupid doing this, do I? No. William Hague.
Yes.
Yeah.
New leader, Conservative mob.
He's going to get the youth vote.
Why?
Because he's a youth. He's 35.
He certainly attempted to look hip in a number of ways, didn't he? The
Well, he went to the
baseball
Notting Hill Carnival, which is pretty crazy.
Met some brothers there, I gather.
Some brothers.
Who'd have thought? Were you at college with him?
I was. He was in the year below me.
Oh dear. Did you fag him or anything like that?
Did he warm your muffins by the fire? With his stabbing thing like that?
Did you invite him into your rooms for some of your crusty almond fingers?
Was he an athlete?
Would you care for some sherry? A Montelado? No, it's just the way my trousers are. How is it that people that went to my school never end up being leaders of the Conservative Party?
I can't think.
Which school was this?
It was college.
Oh, college.
Oh. Yeah.
So which polytechnic was this?
I think that's a bit rich for a man with metalwork CSE.
Ungraded. So which college was this then?
It was Magdalen College at Oxford.
What was he like? Nice
He
guy?
was a young Conservative, and he used to organise parties for one faction of the Conservative Party, where they gave out sherry. Yes, your sneering is indeed accurate.
He's very popular with certain members of the Tory party. Lord Archer, in fact, said that since the election, Haig had grown a foot.
Weird. Well, he's become Jake the Peg.
Apparently.
Wow.
Since becoming leader, William Hague has desperately tried to lose his old fogey image, lose his lightweight reputation, and most important of all, lose his virginity. Ian and Martin.
The young Jonathan Aitken, that's him with a shake. Oh, there's another handshake there. Oh, very good. There's his wife. There's the editor of The Guardian, Alan Rusbridger.
How are you spelling that?
Winner. There's Aitken outside the libel courts, explaining why he's withdrawing and giving up and losing the libel action. So it's a very exciting story for some of us. I was particularly pleased because we were on next. Private Eye were in straight after The Guardian, and thank goodness they won, because I'd have lost, I tell you. There was a big thing about whether he'd procured girls for these Arabs, and Private Eye tried to apologise, and we said it was a typo, and we'd said grills.
It's very good.
That was what your case stood on.
That was one of the better defences I could do. So anyway, thank goodness they won. So he retreated in dismay. And he disappeared and he's gone. And we're pursuing him for costs now.
Bless you for that.
But he got caught because he said he was waiting in the Ritz to pay this hotel bill and his wife was going to Paris or something, and she wasn't. And they found the receipts from the hire company, and they just told a huge lie. And he was about to put his wife in the witness box to lie for him.
What was the famous quote that he came out with? What was he going to fight the cancer of twisted journalism with?
With the simple sword of truth and British justice, which then went straight up one of his orifices.
Jonathan Aitken has been hailed as one of the brightest minds in Westminster. Shortly after the collapse of the trial, he said, "I am aware from the large numbers of photographers stationed outside my home that some media organisations are currently anxious to take pictures of me." Frightening, isn't it? I don't know how he did it. And finally in this round, Paul and Neil.
Big space rocket going up into
up.
space. That looks like trouble. Oh, he's in
Oh,
it.
careful, mate. Oh! It's obviously the Mir space station getting its solar panels mashed when the chaps went up there, and was it a satellite? It wasn't a manned satellite that went up and mashed it? Was it when they were trying to dock?
But they were actually blamed for it. The Russian cosmonauts were blamed for the collision and, in fact, given a fine for dangerous driving. It's true.
In a built-up area.
Well, they lost atmosphere in one of the parts of the station. The atmosphere all went out, and they had to reseal it and run some cables through a door in it to restore power by using the solar panels that they could to get life support system back online. Or something.
You're terribly well informed on Mir.
Oh, I love space, me. I'm a big Star Trek. Of course, Star Trek were doing it years ago.
So who came to their rescue?
The British guy went up.
Yeah, plucky Brit.
Plucky
It was
Brit.
us.
Yeah. He's still there and all, isn't he?
Well,
Hello, I bought some felt. We haven't really got a space program. We just got this felt.
And the other one, of course, which you're just about to ask me about, weren't
Yeah,
you?
it was, yeah.
Was Mars. You know, they landed on Mars on
That's right, they did.
on a big fluffy bag. And the bag got caught up when they opened up the thing to let the tractor go.
You've got all the technical terms as well. It's incredible.
Yeah, and the tractor couldn't get out because it got caught on the bag.
Did our chap go up to Mars at all?
No, it was an RAC man trying to get up there. He got up there and found he wasn't a member of the RAC, he's going to come back again.
There's also been a lawsuit revolving around the Pathfinder.
Is that where Jonathan Aitken's gone?
Sadly not. No, NASA have been sued by a couple of Yemeni
Martians.
men.
Oh, sorry, Yemeni.
Yemeni men, because they claim that they own Mars. They were left it by ancient ancestors.
Well, it's better than the Americans just assuming it's theirs. It makes a bloody change.
Yes, very good. It is mankind's various forays into space this year, on Mars with the Pathfinder and in Russia's Mir space station. On the 25th of June, a docking craft smashed into the side of Mir, oxygen levels plummeted, the electrical generator was cut off, and the space station was plunged into total darkness. One cosmonaut explained air was rushing out through a hole the size of a golf ball. Well, that's what fear does to you, I suppose.
Very good.
So at the end of the first round, the two teams have wasted your time and mine, as neither side has achieved a lead, with the scores at 4-all. So prepare for the outbreak of anarchy now, as we kick off round 2 with the game traditionally featured in round 3. You see, we just don't care tonight, it's crazy. Odd One Out is the name of the game, and Paul's the name of the contestant. His bunch, consisting of Swampy, Eric Cantona, the Spice Girls, and Turmeric.
Way.
Is the referee saying to Eric Cantona, look, that's how I shave under my armpits, like that? No, I don't know why I bothered saying that. Swampy's got a tree growing out of his head. I don't know why I bothered saying that. Should I go for 3 in a row?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything that's not funny. Over to you, Angus. Is it a Swampy, Eric Cantona and the Spice Girls have all been registered as trademarks?
Would you like to elaborate at all on that?
Yes. The turmeric, was it? Is the only one that's not been registered as a trademark. The other 3 have.
Yes. When I said elaborate, I meant more elaborate rather than just repeat.
Well, Spice Girls must have, because this is a new thing now, trademark in your name. They must have done that. I know Eric Cantona did it, so they must have done it. And somebody must have trademarked Swampy's name, or he's trademarked it himself or whatever. So turmeric is the odd one out because it hasn't been trademarked, because it can't trademark itself because it's just a spice. It's not a sentient being, you see.
Right.
It can't walk into the patent office and say, I'd like to trademark myself. No. Because it's a spice, it's powder. How much more elaboration would you like?
That's quite sufficient, thank you. I think we've reached the end of the tape now, so there's no...
Is that right?
Yes, unfortunately. It was absolutely correct.
Yes.
Well done, mate.
The University of Mississippi tried unsuccessfully to register turmeric, as it has many medicinal properties and for skin care can be mixed into a vivid orange paste, which has clearly been of great benefit to Bob Monkhouse. Swampy's name has not been registered for his own benefit, but by a certain Mr. David Bramley, who spotted the chance to cash in on Swampy t-shirts, pens and cuddly toys. According to Mr. Bramley, I thought if Swampy kept digging with all his long-haired friends, it could be a nice little earner. Swampy has retaliated by obtaining full commercial rights over the name Mr. Bramley, which is already paying surprising dividends, in fact. Neil, your quite frankly unusual choice comprises Tony Bullymore, Shergar, Britannia, and a pair of tits.
Interesting. So, Mr. Bullymore, the man who survived the yacht crash, wasn't it?
Yes.
In a crowded sea.
I'm not sure it was a crash, but...
He hit the Mir space station on his way.
And those marvellous breasts. Yeah.
Lovely parting.
Now, yeah, exactly. Very symmetrical, aren't they?
Yes, in fact, I think if children are watching this, perhaps we should cover those breasts now with a T-shirt.
Can we do that? Oh, well done. Well, I've got a feeling the clue is in the yachty connection. In that this chap, Mr. Bullymore, although he survived for a very long time on chocolate whilst trapped inside a very cold sea, etc., etc., I've got a feeling, though, that he's the odd one out, because he's probably the only one. I've got a feeling there's 3 yachts called Britannia, Shergar, and a pair of tits. I think someone, probably like Jim Davidson, has called his yacht a pair of tits. And that...
which is strictly inaccurate, because there's only one of him.
Yeah, precisely.
Well, I have to say, sadly, yes, you are completely right again.
Yeah.
Well done.
There you are. Hey, mate.
I say completely right. It wasn't actually Jim Davidson. It was Prince Geoffrey of Brunei.
Prince Geoffrey? Yeah, that's what happened to him when he left Rainbow, isn't it? There's a Prince Zippy out there as well. And Viscount Bungle.
The madness of King George, that hippo was...
Was it Geoffrey with a J or a G?
It's Jefri.
Oh, Jefri.
Oh, not as in...
Spelling!
It's like...
Yes, of Brunei. That's probably how they spell it in Brunei. His Royal Highness Prince Geoffrey of Brunei, the brother of the world's richest monarch, has a huge private yacht which he has christened Tits. Not wishing to be outdone, the royal family in Saudi Arabia have shocked their subjects by naming their yacht Ankle. Martin, a slightly less frontal approach for you. James Goldsmith.
Yes.
Pope John XII, Catherine the Great, and Glenn Miller.
Well, probably slightly less frontal than you'd like. Glenn Miller wrote a song called Little Brown Jug, which is quite famous, right? The lady, Catherine the Great, had little brown jugs. Pope John XII...
And she was always in the mood.
That's right. Pope John XII liked little brown jugs, which this lady failed to furnish him with, so he scorned her, turned his back on her. Goldsmith's one, he liked great big jugs. See? Crap.
Yes.
Well, there was a story that he, instead of being in a plane, dying in the plane crash, that he actually died in a brothel in Paris, the Glenn Miller, wasn't there? And there's this thing, a story about Catherine the Great apparently dying while having sex with a horse. That's just, during the Grand National, went over Beecher's book, took her head straight off. The Pope, who was it? Pope Jeff?
John.
Pope Geoffrey of Brunei. No, Pope John XII.
John the 12th. Well, he must have had, because those two certainly had there's rumours that they died during sex, so he did as well, and because James Goldsmith didn't.
Is the right answer. He's unstoppable tonight. Yes, Pope John XII had suffered a fatal stroke in bed with a married woman.
Swine.
How big
And
was...
what about the Miller? I mean, is that true, or is that just a rumour?
The Miller?
The Miller story.
Oh, right. I thought you were referring to Glenn Miller as the Miller.
He is known as the Miller.
Is he?
Just as his companion was the Big Bopper, I believe.
What are you talking about? You've mixed up two completely different plane crashes.
Sorry.
The Big Bopper went down with Buddy Holly, and that's what made the plane crash.
The answer is that they've all are rumoured to have died whilst having sex, except James Goldsmith, who, as he was about to die, moved to Spain to avoid paying death duties. So he died screwing the taxman instead. And finally, Ian, which are the odd couple from John and Yoko, Laurel and Hardy, Liam and Patsy, and Neil and Christine?
Well, John Lennon took a lot of drugs and made Beatles records. Liam Gallagher took a lot of drugs and makes Beatles records.
Laurel Hardy, you were on crack cocaine.
Okay. They re-released Let It Be again. I don't know, they're all married,
Yes.
except Laurel and Hardy.
I will give you a clue that it revolves around Liam and...
Beds.
I'm sorry?
Beds?
In what way?
He's tired.
John and Yoko
Oh,
lying.
well, I thought this would be what it is. There was some story that the Hamiltons...
Why did you ask if it was that they were all married then, if you thought it was about the beds?
So I thought that was a better answer. Laurel and Hardy were often filmed in bed together, weren't they?
Right.
John and Yoko were filmed in bed together, protesting about the Vietnam War, which then subsequently ended immediately.
So it worked then?
The whole of both armies saw the video and thought, oh, God, no.
They had their pictures
Taken in bed?
In bed.
They've been on the bed.
Who, the Hamiltons?
Yeah.
Well-
With Vanessa Felt. Who does on the bed now?
I don't think they do it.
It's getting like the old people's home again.
It's Deputy Dog, but he's not allowed on the bed. Is it the Hamiltons?
It is. I'm going to give you all the points. Yes, you are right. Is that they've all been photographed in bed together except Neil and Christine Hamilton.
That's what we said.
Yes. Yes, the Hamiltons in fact took part in a Radio 5 phone-in in their pyjamas, but they weren't actually in bed. That's why they were included.
Right.
On the
Yes, I
radio
know
in their
different.
pyjamas.
Yes.
Impact.
Do you think he was lying? I wonder if he was really in his pyjamas or he just said he
Yes.
was.
I think they were photographed.
He was really in a
to prove
bin
it.
bag with a load of fruit.
During their week-long lie-in, Lennon hoped that he and Yoko would conceive a child. If it's a boy, we'll call him Amsterdam or Bedpiece. Yes, there'd be stupid names for a girl, wouldn't they? Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy were often filmed in bed together. According to Jonathan Sanders, author of the academic text Another Fine Dress, Stan and Ollie are complex characters whose role play involves not only ambiguities of age and class, but gender reversal and mock eroticism. Although I still like that bit where the brick falls on Ollie's head. Which bedtime fumblings brings us bang to the end of round 2. And the situation is that Paul and Neil are hard at it, leading as they do 10-6. And so, being ever open to change and innovation, we prepare to welcome, as one would welcome a dose of syphilis, a brand new, exciting and groundbreaking rehash of an extremely old idea. We canvassed the opinion of our studio audience here on a number of vital topics. The simple task for our equally simple panel is to second-guess those opinions. So, we asked our studio audience to name their least favourite politician. Which one did they pick? Ian, you have first go at this.
I expect they said Thatch. Mrs. Thatcher, the Right Honourable Margaret Thatcher, or Lady Thatcher.
Okay,
As she now is.
Ian says any of these, Baroness Thatcher. Our survey says...
Sorry.
That means it didn't feature in the poll. Martin, who do you think they might have said their least favourite MP was?
Jonathan Aiken.
Jonathan Aitken, says Martin. Our survey says...
Fuck your survey. And your taxi programme, frankly.
Neil, who do you think their least favourite MP might have been?
I'd have to go for Hague, William Hague.
William Hague, you say William Hague. Our survey says... Hey. William Hague was third least favourite with 8%. Paul?
Are
any
these
idea?
current politicians?
Yeah.
John Redwood.
So in fact, only Neil has scored any points on that one at all.
Round on now.
Just to run down,
Someone toss him a herring.
Somebody did that before the show, that's why I'm in a good mood. Wasn't that the follow-up to Cry Me a River?
yeah.
Toss me a herring. Like I tossed a herring over you.
Yes. Just to run down the poll of least favourite MPs, number 1 was Michael Portillo. Most unfavourite.
He's not an MP.
MP at some stage in his life. You know,
No,
that
it says
kind of
least
idea.
favourite.
I asked you, you
MP.
said current MPs. And you
Yes,
said
well,
yes.
Neil Hamilton's here as well, but, you know, who gives a fuck?
Well, you wouldn't get this on Family Fortune. You don't get Les Dennis saying to somebody, who gives a fuck?
He probably does, they just edited it
We
out.
could get a tease made out of this if we win.
Yeah.
Don't think
And
you
have a look
will.
at what you would have won.
Have a look at
Yeah, just to rub it in.
a bit of this.
Yeah.
Number 2 was David Mellor. He's not an MP anymore.
No, he isn't. This is awfully good. This
Number 3 was William Hague. Number 4 was Neil Hamilton.
He's not an MP.
And number 5 was Robin Cook. Right, question 2 is favourite TV programme. OK, Paul, you're going to start with this.
EastEnders.
He's doing
Yeah.
very good. Neil.
Well, going on the same tack, I
Right.
think there I'm going to have to go for Coronation Street.
Yes.
Straight Neil
Got to
says
be there.
Coronation Street.
Oh, get away! Get out of here! Get out of here! What do you like?
People have spoken, that's what they said. Martin?
ER.
No, didn't feature either.
Don't care.
And finally,
I like it.
Ian, you're
Never miss it.
looking rather puzzled.
Try and remember behaving badly. Of
No, I haven't got news for you. It's got to be in there.
course it has.
You sycophant.
Ian, it's,
It's got to
Look
be,
what they
isn't it?
give you, these shitty old bits of newspaper and that and that and all this. That suit, frankly, and you go, who's our favourite? Oh, you haven't yet.
Ian, your choice, please.
It was not my choice. It's what I think they might have said.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to hurry you.
They
We
look as
didn't
though
hurry
they-
you, did we? You've been banging on for hours. Maybe said, get a move on.
Later that
now.
same night.
Friends.
Right, let's have a look at exactly what they said, working from the bottom up. In 5th place was Match of the Day,
Obviously.
with 5%. 4th place was Star Trek, presumably the new generation. 3rd was Friends, 2nd was EastEnders, and top was...
Of course.
If I may say so, pathetic crawling from people who've already got free tickets, so they don't need it. It was also interesting to see the percentage who voted for men behaving badly, or at least it would have been interesting if there'd been one.
I was in 1 foot in the grave. Has anybody here asked any of these questions?
You see.
Mind you, the Family Fortunes is a good show. I like it.
Yeah, it's
You know,
excellent.
You know, people say, you know, they get something like, name something that has an engine, and they'll go, eggs.
It's true, yeah.
Next, least popular guest on Have I Got News For You? Paul, who do you reckon they voted for?
I don't know. I don't.
There are so many, really. to choose
Yes.
from, aren't
Well,
there?
I could name a few. I'd say the Hamiltons.
Our survey says the Hamiltons, but not in 1st place. So who has that privileged position, Neil?
I think it's a dead cert. If he's not on this list, you deserve to be shot, you.
Right, me personally. Right, okay.
Piers Morgan. Oh, number 4.
Fourth
Hey,
position.
oh.
Yes, controversially low, in my opinion. Martin?
I don't know.
Well, you have to guess someone, Martin. It's part of the game.
I really can't. I sort of watch it. I don't really pay attention. I quite like it when the bloke over there pipes up. You know,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
good. Paul Merton.
Paul Merton, you say. Our survey says... No, he doesn't feature at all. I led you completely up the garden path.
Crock of shit. We've established that.
Yes.
Derek Hatton.
Oh, right, is that a personal one?
That's a personal
Right,
one.
okay.
Nothing to do with the survey. Do you remember Degsy on the show?
Degsy, yeah, I
He was
do.
a laugh, wasn't he?
Have you got a gold watch with 14 stones in it? I have!
Okay, you said Derek Hatton. Our survey said... No, didn't feature at all.
Degsy.
So, from the bottom up, I'd say, in 5th place was the Tub of Lard.
Least popular.
He
Least
was
popular.
terrific.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yes, he was... Tub of Lard was unavailable for comment, I'm afraid. 4th was Piers Morgan. 3rd, controversially, Swampy Pete.
Oh, he was brilliant.
But a further welcome bit of exposure for Mr. Bramley. In 2nd place were the Hamiltons, and in 1st place, your mate, Paulie Yates.
Oh, that's so unfair.
And finally, what do you want for Christmas? That was the question. Paul, what do you reckon everyone said?
To win the lottery.
Neil.
What do you want for
World
Christmas? Yeah, I was going to say world peace, but I
was gonna
doubt
say
anyone would
world
say that. I
peace.
think these are probably a bit more greedy than that, these people. What the hell do you want for Christmas? Presents!
You say presents, our survey say...
Well, you are
No.
all mad! I want presents!
Apparently they don't want any presents. That's official. Martin.
Turkey and Morecambe and Wise.
Turkey and Morecambe and Wise. Turkey in Morecambe and
Eat
Wise.
the turkey, watch Morecambe and
Morecambe
Wise. Fucking
You
hell.
say
Have you been to
turkey.
Christmas before?
Have you ever eaten at a harvester? You say Turkey and Eric and Ernie. Our survey says... No, sadly not. Neither of them featuring. And finally...
My 2 front teeth.
I think it was
Honestly,
so
what a jaded audience.
I'll take you through them then. In 1st place, in fact, was a car.
A car?
That would have been a tricky one to guess, wouldn't it? In 2nd place was money.
Well, doesn't that come
thank
under winning
goodness.
the lottery?
Thank goodness the 80s are over.
I'm sorry,
New,
but aren't
passionate,
all of
caring
these things,
audience.
aren't both of these things so far presents?
Yes! I put it to you.
I put it to you,
Yes,
sir.
they are.
Mr. Chairman.
And also,
You're an
Specifically,
and
types
also
of
when I said
presents,
winning the
yes.
lottery, I was kind of in a bleak way referring to money. Because they don't pay you in jelly beans.
In 3rd place, rather curiously, and you almost went for it, was world peace.
Oh, get away!
Yeah.
You soft
And-
bastards!
Even more extraordinary was what tied with world peace, which was
A new tie.
Paul Merton.
Yeah, she said
With a stunning 6%.
Well, I said a turkey.
Gentleman in the red.
6%, that's a whole dressing room full,
That's
isn't
I'm
it?
on the same level as world peace.
Yeah. As popular.
Hey, I'm as popular as world
Popular as
peace.
world peace. And in fact, you're 5% more popular than Jelly Babies, golf clubs, or Elle Macpherson.
Oh, you can't get the...
How much does this video cost? Because they're getting their money's worth.
Considerably more than that scoreboard. The 5th place went to A Spice Girl. Well, that's got for 4%. Didn't nominate which one.
Visual effects on this programme are so stunning, we're almost doing radio.
So ends this never-to-be-repeated round, if I have anything to do with it. And the situation, hopeless as it is that Paul and Neil are very much leading as they are 14-8. And so to the fourth round of this exclusive edition of Have I Got News For You, which, being on video, gives you the advantage of being able to fast forward through the boring bits. The rules, very simply, are that the... tabloid headlines. Ian and Martin. Sorry about the ER.
Yes, Mike Tyson bit another man in the ear. And so one of the newspapers did this thing, sorry about the ER. So as a sort of pun.
Yes.
I believe it's the Daily Star, which runs this across its
Oh, yeah.
banner every day.
Yeah.
You say Daily Star, and then there are a number of permutations depending on the story.
Yeah. Did you hear what Mike Tyson said to Van Gogh? You're going to eat that?
Do you remember what the judge's pronouncement was on Tyson?
Look
Naughty.
at that. He's bitten his ear. Didn't
no,
they
they-
disqualify him?
Nothing can justify biting in the ring.
No.
I think a lot of truth in that. This is then the story of Mike Tyson biting off the ear of Evander Holyfield, which sent shockwaves throughout the world. Several celebrities were wheeled out to give their opinions, including one Lord Jeffrey Archer. He should be banned for life, said Tyson. Paul and Neil. He's no Tinky Winky, more like Stonker Wonker.
This is the Teletubbies sacking Dave Thompson, who was Tinky Winky. Got the sack because he didn't like him, didn't like his performance, didn't like the little touches he was putting into it, like carrying a little handbag. Didn't like that.
What's the Stonker Wonker bit? Was it anything to do with his downstairs equipment?
It is.
He had got a gymnasium
reference.
down in the basement.
It is a reference to his genitalia.
He was he's a
genital
nudist.
reference.
Didn't he try to sort of? I know him from the years ago. He used to be on the circuit.
Which circuit's that?
It's not the law courts. Let's put it like that. No, it's the Magdalen College cross-country running for snobs
And future prime ministers.
and future prime ministers.
Circuit.
Well, he used to try and pick up birds.
Yes. And who
I'm a
claimed-
Teletubby. I'm
Ever seen one like this before?
Yeah.
He had an even more bizarre chat-up line, which was, "Would you like some Teletubby custard?"
I can. No. Give it a chance. Let it breathe. Let it live with you.
Don't knock
Does that include hundreds and thousands?
This is Petra Lovell, who was a busty Teletubby fan, who claimed to have,
Had his Stonker Wonker.
in a manner of speaking, Neil, yes. Any idea what particularly turned her on?
Banana custard.
It was when he sang the Teletubby song, which, Ian, you'll know.
We are the Teletubbies. We're on telly on Sunday morning.
No, it was more Tinky Winky Biddle Biddle Boddle, Tinky Winky Boddle Boddle Biddle.
Oh, that song, yeah.
You're getting me going now.
Yes, this is the story of Dave Thompson, his name, better known as Tinky Winky, who was fired from the Teletubbies because his interpretation of the role was deemed unacceptable. Thompson
Take it
featured
off,
in...
actually.
Hello.
Excuse me.
Oh, Ian's off.
Oh.
Very long recording.
Yes.
I'm going to have a fag then.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've got more in my bag, so I won't.
Skin up, Angus.
While he's not here. So about that wanker Islop then.
He's worked with strings, you know.
Has he?
He's a puppet.
That's why it takes a man to sort of come and disattach him.
That's all right. Where are you going for your holidays this year? Anywhere nice?
I've been to Portugal as it goes.
Have you?
I've already had my holiday, yeah.
Where'd you go in Portugal then?
Portugal, I was down on the Algarve.
Oh, lovely.
Santa
Oh,
Barbara
it's
de
lovely.
Lis.
Have you been yet?
Yeah, I've been to Spain.
Spain.
Where?
Yeah. I went... I can't remember now. Oh, hello.
Can we start doing the Teletubby stuff now while we're waiting for Ian to come back, please?
What?
yes.
We're having a fag?
It's a fag break.
What's the matter with you?
Could we get some refreshments, some pasties or something?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
Izzy,
Oh, is
bless
Ian's
him.
right back?
Pretend
Bit longer,
Yeah.
Ian. Did you make a mess?
Thanks, I feel a hell of a lot better.
Oh, you've been out. He's been outside going through his life.
You're going to like television.
He's always the same when he has a glass of Nesquik. We'd better get rid of these then, hadn't
Yeah,
we?
I suppose so,
For continuity reasons.
Meanwhile, back at the quiz.
I'll just keep it under here, Bill.
Yeah. Oh,
This is the story of Dave Thompson, better known as Tinky Winky, who was fired from the Teletubbies because his...
This is where you were when I went out.
This is the second showing, you were gone so long.
I thought I was going to miss this bit. Sorry.
no, it's all right. You'd come in just in time because his interpretation of the role was deemed unacceptable. Thompson featured in 70 episodes, although there was a clue to the fact that the producers were about to fire him. He noticed that the other characters used their own voices, but mine was dubbed over.
A clear indication to anyone that they're about to be sacked.
Incidentally, Teletubby dolls are likely to be much in demand this Christmas, so the Mirror has hopefully published this guide to making your own Poe. So, just to show how simple it is, our panellists will now construct the perfect Poe in but a twinkling of an eye. So, here we go. These are the ingredients. That's for Ian and Martin. And this is for Paul and Neil. And you have 4.5 hours starting now.
starting now?
Yes, the instructions are there.
Right, I'll tell you what to do. Sew the eyes up.
I'll give it a pen knife first. Yeah,
Sew the eyes
I
up.
was going to make the ears first.
Right.
Sew them on.
Yeah,
Oh,
on
Neil
that
and
red.
Oh, and that.
Yeah, 2 eyes. I'll get out. I'll start cutting them out. Right. Get my mouth out. That's right. Eyes and ball there. So, 1, 2.
Oh, hell!
Oh, sorry, cut it.
How you doing?
I can't sew.
No,
I've never sewed in my life.
Yeah, that's his mouth.
And just in case watching a group of grown men sewing proves less than
Jesus.
fascinating, we'll fill in the time with
I'm
one or
going
two-
to bang on about myself some more.
might actually include you, because there are 1 or 2 old outtakes that you may never have seen before.
Australians find New Zealanders' accents very funny, don't they?
Fifth and sixth, wouldn't you?
I beg your pardon?
They haven't got a vowel to their names,
Haven't
New
they?
Zealanders. No, they say fifth and sixth when they mean fifth and sixth.
We're good on countdown.
There was this production of The Sound of Music that was in Sydney several years ago. I was told about it when I was out there once. The woman who was playing the head nun was a New Zealander actress, and apparently she turns to Maria at one point and she says, "What is it, you cunt face?" You've got to see her as a nun, really.
Right.
It was about a dilemma that Maria couldn't face.
Couldn't face, yeah. Ian loses out yet again.
We'll give him a point.
No, we'll have them, because it's one of the biggest scores we've ever had out of that little shit over there. Sometimes when you talk quickly, you don't know what the end of the sentence is going to be. I do.
It's difficult.
I withdraw that immediately.
Britain's wittiest man. That little
I'm sorry,
shit.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Roll over Oscar Wilde.
I apologise.
in town.
I apologise immediately. I'm sorry.
It is particularly ironic as this...
I couldn't think. I was just getting to the end of the sentence, and the rhythm demanded a 4-letter word. I think you got off rather lightly, in my view.
Good, well, thank you for putting us straight on that one, Paul.
No,
Anyway,
feel free. I really despise you now.
that's strange,
So
because
mean.
we've...
So mean.
We've despised him from ages. Strange, you've only just caught up.
I just thought since you'd put it in the
Stop
public...
it! Stop it! Don't say another word or I'm coming over there. And then you'll know the full force of my operation.
Hello, Paula.
Who gets the point? Who gets the points there?
It's an interesting point, isn't it, who got the point on that one?
Do you want to fight for it?
Yeah.
I will.
I wasn't challenging you.
Thank
I
you.
know, but
No, come
come and have a go if you think you're hard enough.
What are we talking about now? Can I nod off there? 1 minute it was going to be a fight, and the next minute it all made it up.
But in drag as opposed to being a drag?
Oh, that's... it's not a
it's
popular one.
panto time, isn't it?
What were you doing in that dress?
That's Jack and Nori, comes out in January.
Jack and Nori?
I mean, children are going to watch that. Yeah. God, the BBC really is washed up, isn't it?
On which self-publicising note, we say thank you.
Well, I didn't pick the picture. Nothing self-publicising at all. You asked me what I was doing. I said Jack and Nori.
Yeah.
I didn't walk into the studio tonight and say, by the way, I'm on Jack and Nori in 2 weeks' time, dressed as a woman between Wednesday the 2nd of January and Thursday the 19th.
So no self-publicity there at all?
I know, I was giving you the gag.
Yes, thank you.
But
on which...
you picked up on it really well.
Yeah, thank you.
And turned it into a sort of flat moment.
Just trying to...
It's a bit like your career, really. What's this? What's that? That's your career. And this side is next to the bit that says crap. And there's a dip there.
Could everybody now shout girls, girls very loudly?
No, here we go. On
which note we finish the Christmas edition of How I Got News View. But first, an interesting story from Chichester, where Prince Philip has been found with his hand up a dog's arse. And in Reading, police are worried that Oliver Reed's drinks cabinet has flooded once again.
I think
We
it's,
finished yet?
I think it's now Boxing Day, by the way.
It's funny that it goes on for hours, but when they edit it down, it still seems shit.
Yeah.
How's it going over here?
Shut up.
Yeah, we're concentrating.
Nylons, lady.
Have you cut the hole yet for the face?
No, I haven't. I was waiting to see how big the face was.
Well, get a move on. Stop showing off.
Better on its own, this, isn't it?
Do you know you're really, really not helping?
Put that onto his belly.
I don't know if you've noticed that. Yes, I am.
We're going to have to hurry now.
Well, what are you doing? If you're going to have a time limit, you want a big clock up the back, mate, not just a load of old newspaper cuttings.
So we're almost there, man.
Are you?
What else do we need? Oh, bloody hell, my foot's just come off.
Right, are we
No!
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, we're there.
Stop them, because we're there.
No, well,
Okay,
well,
right.
that's fair. Like, you're in the lead, and now
There
you want
go.
to cheat
That's
against us.
quite enough of that.
Piss off.
And there goes the hooter, in case you were wondering what that strange noise was. It was a hooter, so, Paul and Neil, let's have a look at yours first.
I think we heard a buzzer, actually.
Right, and Ian and Martin, I suppose we better have a look at yours. Grotesque as it might appear. Is he ready yet?
Let's have a look then.
I know it may appear inferior, but the real thing actually is supposed to look like that.
Oh, I forgot the ears. I've made two really good ears as well.
Yeah, but it is dangerously close, and as they're both equally awful. I won't give any points to either of you.
Should we just have a look at yours, Angus?
Yes. Thank you. Which proof, if proof be needed that the world is mad, marks the end of this absurd round, and Ian and Martin appear to be losing it, trailing as they do 16-10.
Hey, Sauce Party's back again.
Hey.
He's going to do the whole lot.
Thank you. And so to the warm, moist relief of our climactic finale, to wit the missing words round, a random selection of half-baked headlines, including or excluding one or two from Martin and Neil's favourite magazine, Lingerie Buyer. Right, so what reveals its true colours?
Litmus paper.
Dulux.
Bras. Lingerie.
Lingerie is the right answer, yes, very good. This season, optic shades of opal, cobalt and ultramarine are found alongside a strong palette of aquatic blues to bring a breezy winter freshness to the high street. Next, what in my pork scratchings?
Magdalen College, Oxford.
Lingerie.
University challenge.
Pork scratchings in my lingerie.
Other way around.
Not lingerie. Slightly more religious, in fact.
Rabbi.
Turin
I
Shroud.
hate being in there.
Not far off. I'll give you one for Turin.
Jesus.
The face of baby Jesus is the right answer. This is
Well, he did have
Mr.
skin trouble as a kid.
Did he? I didn't know that. Mr. Dodgson of Coventry was convinced that his pork scratching was identical to the Madonna and baby Jesus. The Madonna and baby Jesus is the one on the right.
Isn't that Evander Holyfield's ear?
Next, how what can be worth 250 million a year?
A bra, because it was on the front cover of Lingerie magazine that you showed earlier.
Yeah.
Bastard. Is the right answer, obviously.
Yeah.
Very good, and there it is. Well spotted. Next, what exercised at last?
Fat bloke?
No, exorcised.
Oh, sorry.
Exorcised.
Sorry, mate.
Fat bloke possessed by devil.
Good guess, but in fact the answer is mystery bogey. A man in Sweden who couldn't understand why he was sneezing continuously for 4 weeks until he discovered a 2.5-foot piece of wadding left up his nostril by a brain surgeon.
I've never heard it called wadding before. Oh no, I have actually, yeah.
And finally, what on sodomy charges?
VAT.
Increase.
No.
Is it increase?
No, not increase.
This isn't a new bum tax.
But no, banana is the right answer. Banana.
Oh, is that the Reverend Canaan Banana?
Yes.
He was an African leader.
He was.
He's now on a sodomy charge, is he?
Yes.
Well, that's amazing what you learn on video, isn't it?
Yes, it's incredible. Which anything but grand finale brings us to the end of this brief cassette, and the upshot is that tonight's pork scratchings are Ian and Martin with 12, whilst tonight's Madonna and baby Jesus are Paul and Neil with 21. So to our winners, a Mr. Bramley mug.
Oh, lovely. Hey, brilliant.
To our losers, Mr. Bramley. There you are. He's yours to take home and do with as you will. On which edifying note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop, Martin Clunes, Paul Merton and Neil Morrissey. And I leave you with news of an unnerving moment for John Redwood, as he suddenly has two brilliant ideas at once. Scotland Yard admit that their murder clear-up rate has slowed down since hiring a fine arts student. And in Manchester, the bass player in Oasis denies he's trying to upstage the Gallagher brothers. Good night.